Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to my channel, Our Eyes, where I love to talk about a lot of things: women, relationships, and growth, spiritual connections, and just whatever's on my mind at the time, which is pretty relevant to what we face in today's society. So one of my subscribers did hit me up and they asked me to touch more on something that I did vaguely touch on my last video, um, bitter men. Because a lot of times I think we can see that women can easily become bitter, but men don't get the attention they need when they become bitter. And I've noticed this a lot in recent times. I have some close family members of mine who have unfortunately become bitter due to things that they've gone through in their own personal lives, in their own personal journey. And I see the growth of that guy. It's a guy, a male family member, and I've seen his growth, and I've been there when I didn't think he was going to push through the pain. I've been there as an eye opener for myself that wow, men hurt too, and men go through things too. And it was weird for me at first because I didn't know that men can suffer from heartbreak on that level, like a woman can suffer from heartbreak. Now, I have siblings of both sexes. I have a sister, and I have a couple of brothers. But I've watched my sister and I. We've comforted each other through heartbreak at times, or anger, and it was easy to digest that. It was easy for me to see through it and be able to make light of the situation and be able to relate. But when it became a part of my male siblings' life and their need to want to reach out to me as the big sister and look to me for insight, I actually experienced a few different things. The first thing I experienced is something that I didn't know was in me because I don't have biologically any male sons. So the need to comfort him was there. I got very angry at first, and I'm pro woman, but you're dealing with someone who I've helped my mom raise and someone who I've loved since they came home wrapped up in a little blanket. And I'm like a second mom because I'm the oldest sister. So that immediate need to just lash out and be his protector, that came in. And then I actually felt like biased towards him at one point or another. I was like, could this be his fault? Because I'm a woman and I've been hurt by men, and I know what men are capable of. I know how they can treat us ladies. So immediately, those were my two emotions. Like, maybe it's his fault. Why does he deserve my comfort right now when he probably hurt that woman? So instantly, I wanted to just jump to the woman's side. However, I was able to put that aside and listen with an actual open mind and hear his story and hear his hurt and hear his pain. And through that, I was able to see that A, it wasn't his fault, and B, it's not always a man's fault. Now, I also have with me today, before I get into the healing process of a man and what they need to do to actually heal, I have a few things. The first thing I'm going to point out is something that I mentioned also in the last video, and that is my lavender oil. Now, you can get lavender oil. You're going to be laughing at me, but I actually trusted in my local Dollar Tree for this lavender oil. And I'm a person who, I'm going to actually put some on right now to help me with this video, but I'm a person, it comes in a little dropper, that oils and stuff are not my favorite scents, and they seem to be a little strong for me. So what I did with this oil is I didn't waste it. I poured a little bit of it on my meditation plant. It's like a plastic plant, and it's a diffuser. It's a diffuser plant. So I sprinkled a lot of it on there so I can get the bottle a little empty, and I added my own kitchen olive oil to the bottle, And that olive oil with the lavender oil mixture actually brought it down to the perfect aroma for me. So it's not too strong. It's actually perfectly blended. So if you're a person who notices that some oils tend to be a little strong for you, you can dilute them with something as plain as some household olive oil. The other thing that I would like to point out today, and I did this on purpose, I wore these earrings today. So these are pronounced Hamsa, and some people say it protects against the evil eye, or it's Hamsa. I actually have the meaning of it. It's an ancient Middle Eastern symbol that holds a variety of meanings across cultures. Nevertheless, it is regarded in all faiths as a protective talisman that brings good fortune, health, and happiness. So this is the hand of God. It's very pretty. I'm into stuff like this. It's gorgeous. I purchased these online, and I love them. So I'll leave where I purchased them at in the comments. And again, it's just surrounding yourself with things that we have access to naturally and by way of symbolic healing. So I'm going to get right into it. Men are very strong. We look at them with the utmost strength, and we always forget that they too have a need for healing. So we as women, we tend to forget that they are human too. They are human first. And I think it is a bias. I think it is an awful bias. And again, it was brought to my attention recently when I was helping my brother through his divorce and all the heartache that came along with it. Like I said earlier, I did not even process initially why he was so hurt. It was almost foreign to me, like, man up, right? We want to say that instantly. Man up, get over it. It's a woman. Women are a dime a dozen. Go out there and find you another woman, because it's not hard for a man, but it is hard for a bitter man. It is hard for an unhealed man. Men have feelings too. So my subscriber, she reached out to me, and one of her direct questions was, how does she approach this man that needs this healing, that he's very bitter from past heartache, past broken relationships, and everything under the sun, right? So I sat back and I thought about it as a woman, how I would approach a man that I was into, but he was bitter. Or I can tell he had a past of where he doesn't trust me, or he's not able to actually let his guard down and love me wholeheartedly. The first thing that I would say to you, sis, is perhaps he needs more time to heal. What we always do, we instantly want to jump in and fix somebody. Sometimes we have to actually step back. And I would be as transparent as possible with this guy. I would say, listen, I've noticed these traits in you, and I don't come from malice perspective or points of view. I'm here because I like you. I've grown to care for you. However, these are the things that I see in you that don't sit comfortable in my healing process, or don't sit comfortable in where I am in life. So it's a sad truth that sometimes the step back approach is the best approach. Sometimes we have to just pull ourselves back and say to this person as transparent as possible, I see you, I hear you, I feel your pain, and you need to heal. So just to take it around, whoever this gentleman is, whoever's bitter and hurt and dealing with things of the past, as a woman, as a man, we all can learn from this lesson. It is okay to heal yourself first before you go out into the world and expect a relationship, because what you're going to do, and you might not do it on purpose, but it's going to happen when you move too fast from brokenness, heartache, depression, anxiety. and baggage from the past relationship and you move so quick and jump into another relationship, all you've done is take those bags of garbage with you. You haven't actually sorted through the trash and removed the things that were bad and removed the lessons that you learned. Because even heartbreak is a lesson, even pain can be a lesson at times. Don't be so fast to take the garbage with you. You need to sit down and sort through the trash. It's like when you're moving to a new apartment. When you're moving to a new apartment or a new house, you don't take everything with you. You throw away stuff that you no longer need. You throw away things that are no longer beneficial to you, things that you've outgrown, old shoes, old clothes, old furniture that's been worn and torn and sat on and used and abused. They are just essential things that you don't move with. You don't move with an old broom, which was used to sweep dirt, an old mop, which was used to clean the dirt from your floors. You don't move into a new apartment with those things. You sit in your closet and you purge. You go through old clothes and say, I haven't worn that in a long time. That doesn't fit me no more. That's out anymore. That's out of style. I'm not into this anymore. Those jeans are played out now. No one wears this name brand anymore. No one wears this anymore. So you literally sit there before you move to a new place and you sort out the life that you've built in that current place. It's no different. When you leave one relationship, you need to sit down and you need to focus and clean out the things that did not benefit you from that relationship and sort out the lessons learned in that relationship and go through a process of healing so that you're not carrying the baggage from one relationship to the next. It is okay to be a little afraid to trust again, because if you learn from your mistakes, you'll see that you learn from the things that have affected you in the past. So no, I'm not saying to go into the new relationship blindfolded. That's not what I'm saying. However, don't have the nerve to go into a new relationship with the same trash from the old relationship and dump onto that new person the trash that you took from the old person. Because now you're toxic and you're creating a toxic environment and you're going from woman to woman or man to man with these toxic traits and this toxic environment, and you're leaving your stain on that person. And that person, I'm sure, does not deserve it. No one deserves to be stained by your trash. And it doesn't make you a bad person for having trash, but you need to get rid of it. You need to breathe and let it go. Breathe. So that brings me back to some exercises that I want to incorporate, because a lot of us don't know how to let go of the healing. Let go of the garbage and the toxins. So the lavender oil is actually good because it has properties that help with anxiety, depression, and insomnia. And if I'm talking to my brothers today, I'm talking to my brothers right now. I'm talking to the guys, my kings. Don't be too cool to sit in the middle of your floor. Get your lavender. Be dainty for a moment. Nobody's looking. Just do it in the house by yourself. Put the lavender on. Inhale it. Breathe it. If you need a different, more masculine oil or scent, try something different. Sit there and just breathe in and think out your thoughts. What did I give to this relationship? What did she give to this relationship? What did I do wrong? What did she do wrong? How could I have done something different? What are the attributes that I would love to take to my next relationship? What are some of the things that I do not want? We all have toxic traits. We all have abilities to be, mean or self-centered or selfish. Fix those things before you go into another relationship. Practice, look up this word, Namaste. Namaste. It means to bow to you. You bow to the next person with the belief that we all are spiritual. We all are wonderful, and bowing to the next person in total transparency, coming into a relationship with another sis and saying, listen, I really like you. I see that we're getting close, but being honest with her, these were my past hurts. These were some of the things that affected me in the past. And if you see me behaving this way, it's because of this. I'm working on me. I just want you to know where it's coming from so that you don't internalize, you don't personalize this pain and this behavior. But as a grown-up, don't bring that pain and that behavior to the next relationship. Having the being, bold enough to let them know that this is what you go through. These are some of the traits and behaviors that might show up occasionally. That's different from actually just expecting that person to put up with it wholeheartedly and dumping on them. So I need for the brothers to first acknowledge the pain, because you cannot heal from something that you haven't even acknowledged. You need to acknowledge the pain. You need to be transparent with whomever you decide to date after that pain and let them know that there was some pain there and it might creep up occasionally. These behaviors might show up occasionally. Before you're even transparent with the pain and you're telling someone else what you're going through, I need you to acknowledge that you have it there and try to heal from it. Try to do it different. Try to set up what your triggers are and pull away from it. And then just being man enough to own it. And if you do happen to come into another person's life, and it doesn't only have to be a relationship, it can be with your children, your family, at work, in traffic, anywhere that this bitterness and this anger shows up. Being able to identify your triggers and reroute the pain, the anxiety, and remap and restructure that trigger so that it doesn't keep showing up and making you have bad days and also making your days bad. And I said that two ways: making you have bad days and making your days bad. Just digest that. So yes, men do suffer from depression. Men do get their heart broken. Men do get used. Men get abused physically. They get financially abused. They get emotionally abused. They hurt. Every grown man walking the face of this earth was a little boy at one time. He was a baby. They have to grow too. So as a woman, if you see this trait in your man, that he's bitter, this could be a new relationship or something occurred in the past, it's time for you to just identify it, be transparent with him, and offer him some techniques on healing, giving him that moment of vulnerability to be able to talk with you without you looking down on him or saying like, man up, or stop being a bitch, like get over it. Don't have that attitude and don't have that approach. Actually understanding his pain and allowing him to get through it. That's what you can do, sis. That's what we can do as women. We can actually acknowledge that these are people too, with their big muscles and their manliness. They have feelings as well, and not devaluing a man who has been through something, but allowing him the space and the opportunity for growth, time to fix it, and being totally transparent with him, telling him, listen, I see this in you. I love you, or I do care for you. However, you need to work on this. What can I do to help you through this pain? What can I do to make sure that, we can get through this together and you can heal from this so that I can see the best you show up for me? I like you like this, but I'll love you at your best. So what can I do as a woman to help you through this? And ladies, just being transparent, and allowing him to be vulnerable. Allow him to let go and get it out. Even if he comes to tears, let him get it out, and we can never speak of it again. It has to be released. Let it out, heal from it, and get through it. So to answer your question, and I love the questions, I love the comments, just as a woman, what can I do if I come across a bitter man? And that is having a conversation about it, actually being real about it, and allowing that vulnerability, and actually giving a helping hand towards a path of healing for that man. As a man, what can I do if I'm bitter? You can acknowledge your pain, because it is real, it is there, and you are not less of a man for feeling it. Acknowledge your pain. Do some mental exercise to release the pain and toxicity. Correct the behavior that may have contributed to the downfall of that relationship or marriage, or being able to identify the traits in those women or that woman who hurt you, and not dating that type of woman again, and actually consciously moving past the pain. You have to make a conscious decision to let go and say, I no longer choose to suffer. I no longer choose to carry this baggage to my next place. It's hard, but you got to put in the work, and then it becomes easy. Sort through your trash, take the lessons learned, releasing everything that you've outgrown. It's just like a new pair of shoes or old pair of shoes. If you don't fit it no more, you don't force it on your foot and wear it, because if you force things that you've outgrown, it causes calluses, corns, bunions. Same thing with your life and your spirit. If you have outgrown these things, why force yourself to wear them? Get rid of them. Purge. Let it go. Move on. Let go of everything you've outgrown. Be a great person. Love yourself on purpose. And I just want to put out, I'm going to talk about this tonight on my podcast, Eat Everything on Your Plate. Again, available on Spotify Podcasts, Rocket Cast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can just Google it. It'll pop up on Google. And I'm going to touch base with it. And I'm going to have a guy and a woman. And we're going to talk about men, bitterness, how the system works more for women than men, because that's real as well. How the court system and the family courts really work for women and not men who have suffered abuse in relationships. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get heavy into that. Again, Eat Everything on Your Plate. It will publish either tonight or tomorrow, but you can look forward. Again, like, share, subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comments below. If you have something private that you'd like me to discuss, you can email me at owleyesproductions with a Z at gmail.com. I will keep it completely anonymous. I respect your privacy. And again, I thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful to a lot of you. I hope this was helpful to my subscriber that asked me to touch on this bitterness of a man. And I love you, and I thank you, and love yourself on purpose. That is the key to healing. Have a great day.